You guys, stick around for this DIY. We're making chocolate bunnies for Easter. Stay tuned. Okay guys, what I'm gonna do off camera, I'm gonna mix my plaster of Paris, and I'll have to start. I might go ahead and pour one of the small molds because you have to work really quick with it. But anyway, the big ones I'll probably do off camera, but as soon as I'm done, I'll come back and show you, and then of course when I start to assemble it. So I'll be back as soon as I mix the plaster of Paris. You guys, I am so excited about this DIY. This is the DIY I've been talking about that I have been so excited to share. And this is my first time doing it. So we're, as usual, doing it together. All right, what you're gonna need is plaster of Paris. Tracy, I know you're gonna love this one. Holiday Cookie Diva. You're gonna need something to mix it in, and I just have one of these that my husband got at Lowe's and a stick to stir it. A dowel, looks like a dowel. Actually, it looks like one of my dowels. No wonder I couldn't find it. And the mold. Okay guys, I'm letting you see it. Good, bad, and the ugly. Okay, I mixed the plaster of Paris, and it was 4 cups I did of the plaster of Paris, 2 cups water. Okay, and what I did is, as soon as I mixed it, because it says you have to work fast, I poured it into the mold. Well, it started to overflow, and I thought, oh my God, no. So as you can see, look, there it is. And bye-bye to the dishwasher. Live and learn and live. Okay, so I did that, and then I came over and I had enough, because you don't want to waste the plaster of Paris, because it does take quite a bit for this particular mold that I'm doing, the big one. So I had enough to do this little mold, and then I went ahead and did this carrot mold, and I'll paint those. And then I did some candies, which will be in another DIY. I'm telling you this because after watching the plaster of Paris for a few minutes as it started to thicken, not a lot thicken, but enough to where when you first pour it, it's not going to be so runny. I think if I had waited even 2 minutes, it would start to thicken enough to where it wasn't so soupy, because you guys, I'm not kidding, it started. I'm so glad I had this paper from, where do I keep it from? That's right. Any place that wraps up my goods that I buy, Hobby Lobby, Home Goods does it. Any place, I always keep this paper because it saved my counter. Anyway, all right, I just thought I'd bring you on this little part of the adventure. So as soon as these harden up, then I'll bring you back. And in the meantime, I think I'm gonna set up some more plaster of Paris and do the other side of that bunny mold. And I'm gonna let it thicken a little bit, and I'll let you know how that worked. I already poured one of these molds. The reason I did the first one off camera, when I'm doing something like this and it's brand new to me and I have never done this particular, I always want to do one to kind of get my feel of it and what I've done wrong or what I could do better before I show you guys. So with this, now this is a big mold. I mean big. This is 14 inches, okay? Big, 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 big. $14 inches. So, take a lot of plaster of Paris, first of all. So, because I've done some other molds off camera, I'm gonna have to go buy more, because I think I only have enough to do this one side. You don't want to get started and start to fill it and not have enough. So I know I can get this side. And that's okay, because I mean it doesn't matter that I only get one side done right now, and then go to the store and get the other and get the plaster of Paris for the other, because I'm going to need more anyway. Oh, why do I get off like that? Okay, stay focused, Davida. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and again, trial and error, like I told you earlier. All right, look at this. I wasn't thinking when I started to pour it, right? Well, okay, you can see this. when I started to pour, not this one, but the other one, because it's got dimension to it, when you start to pour that plaster of Paris, it's all going to pool to this side. Well, here I am feverishly, and it's starting to spread and come down, and it's like, oh no! Well, I didn't have anything to prop it up because I didn't think the thing through like I did now. So, what you want to do is get your paper. Keep your paper from any store you go to. If you do crafts, you want to cover your space. I don't care where it's at. These are the bags that I've had just from different places. And what I'm going to do, because I kept thinking, how can I get this thing to be level? Well, I remembered I had these bags. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wad them up, put them under the mold until it is where I want it to be as far as level, okay? Then you have no problem for your plaster of Paris, and it's just going to be level. And then you don't have to worry about it running all over your counter and covered. So I just want to make sure it's where I want it to be before I go any further. And that looks good. So now I'm going to mix my plaster of Paris. This one's going to take, I'm sure, 4 cups of plaster of Paris because it's 2 to 1. Two plaster of Paris to 1 ratio. So I'm doing 4 cups of plaster of Paris and 2 cups of cold water. Okay, got this now in the bucket. And I am mixing it. I'm trying to mix it as easily as I can, not to create a whole lot of bubbles, although there are bubbles forming, that's okay. Also, on the packaging of the plaster of Paris, it says you have 6 to 10 minutes workable time. It also said to wet your mold and it'll pop out easier. So I just ran this through cold water. And I'm letting this set up just a tiny bit so it's not quite as soupy because you guys, I am not kidding. When I did the other mold, oh my gosh, it was so soupy and I thought, oh my gosh, did I not do it right? But it did harden. I'll show you, it's still in the mold here. And there it is here. So it is setting up nicely. But if you've never done it before, you're thinking, oh no, oh my gosh, and it's starting to pour all over. Jeez. But it's okay. Okay, now I'm going to pour this, and you'll see what I mean when I start pouring. Okay. See what I mean? It was like, oh no. But I want to get this poured in it before it starts to get too clumpy. And you know what? It's going to take another cup. Right now, I'm going to make one more cup while I'm talking to you. And then the rest I'll just use. I'm just eyeballing this now, guys, because I got to get it in there before it starts setting. And the reason I'm doing this down in my kitchen, obviously, right now, hello, I'm over at the sink. If I was in my craft room and I didn't have access fast enough, I'd be in a mess. Altogether, this one bunny took 5 cups of plaster of Paris and 2 1/4 cup of water. That's how deep this bunny is. Now do you see why I need to put the plastic under here? You got to get it to where it's level, to where the plaster of Paris gets everywhere. And as you can see, do you see that? It's still not enough. So I have to hope that I can get enough out of this. Can you hear it? I'm down to the bottom. I'll go get more and do the other side of this. And what I'll do is I'll just make a mental note to where about it was. So I have like a quarter of him, well, about an eighth where it didn't get. So I'll just keep in mind to fill it the same with the other side. So almost to the edge, but not quite. And for the first one, you know, it's what you go through when you're learning. So, it's a shame, but see how I put these underneath to make it. That's all I can do. I'll have to make the other one just the same. And it took every bit of it. And of all times for my husband not to have any plaster of Paris on hand, all right, okay, when this sets, I will be back. Good morning, everybody. I am so excited over this DIY. You guys, this is probably going to be my most favorite. Other than the faux desserts, this is going to be my absolute favorite, I think, of this Easter 2018. Okay. I showed you when I poured, and this isn't the big one. This is the medium. But here is what it looks like. And I haven't taken it out of the mold yet because I wanted to show you. Okay? And this is what I used again. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I am going to pop these out of the mold, and I took some sandpaper and I just lightly sanded anything that was bumpy so these would fit as well together as I could get them. So let's pop them out. And these should come out, yep. Look how easy. Okay, here's one half of him. Let's get the other half. And then to put these together so it'll stick, I have to paint them first with an acrylic paint. So I'm just going to use, look how perfect. Look at that. Okay, so let's see what they look like together. You have to be a little bit careful. This is plaster of Paris and it can break. Let's put these together and see how they... Okay. So there it is together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go get some, I think I'm just going to get a white acrylic paint because I don't want to use my burnt umber because I need that for the outside. And I'll probably detail a little bit of his coat and the egg. And I don't know if I will try to embellish with some faux eggs down here and some grass. Not sure yet. But we're going to do him together in a minute. And then I'll bring in my littler one as well. So I will be back in a minute once I get the paint. Okay. What I did is I've made different sizes. Right now I'm going to show you the middle. I'm going to show you the mid-size, the smaller. And with this one, the ear broke off, so I hot glued right here in the tail. That's no big deal because I can turn it this way. And I painted the inside of both of these so the glue would stick. So now I'm going to have to work really fast Got to get this camera down a little bit more. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I have this plate out, so I'm going to be mixing some paint, but I just want to have this right here ready to go, because you got to work quick. And I mean quick, because this dries really fast. Okay, so now it's glued together, and the hot glue, I'm going to try to use it on this one. This is going to be a little trickier because it's bigger. I'm really going to have to work fast, so I'm just going to zigzag it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take, I have this spackle, and it's pink when it goes on, but it dries white. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in, I'm trying to show you, I don't know if you can tell, let me go this way. You see where there's that gap in there? I want to fill that in, and then I'll sand it. And spackle to me is the easiest to do because it sands nice, and these sand really easy too because it's very soft. So now what I'm going to do, glue gun back, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to start spackling, and I'll come back just to do a little bit with you. Okay guys, note to self, don't bother painting with the paint you're going to use in the end until you have spackled all of the seam on whatever it is you're making, because I'm just going to have to paint it again. But what I did with my finger is wherever there was a gap, I just put some of this, and see how it's kind of a pinky color? Well, it's getting whiter as we go. And I filled in that little gap right there. So I'm waiting for that to dry, and then I'm just going to sand it a little bit. So I'm going to put this one to the side. I also made carrots, and I'm going to glue a stick. I should have put the stick in while it was curing, but I didn't. So I'm just going to glue one on after so I can stick these in my decor. So now with this one, I have painted it, and now I'm going to do the hot glue. And I'm a little bit nervous about this. I'm so afraid I'm not going to get it all done to where it's going to stick right, but let's try and see what happens. The bigger one, there's no way. I can see now because that one, let me show you that one. Look how much bigger this one is than this one. You see the difference? I mean, there's a big difference. So I'm going to use caulking to put these two together. So I will do after. Okay. I've never worked so fast in my life, and I don't know how this is even going to adhere. Let's hope for the best. I think it will adhere enough, and then when I put the spackle in, now you can see the gaps better, okay? You're going to have this no matter what. But I'll fill the gaps in with the spackle. Yep, this is connected. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'll just show you a little bit, and then I'll go off camera and finish it because you don't need to sit there and watch it. So with my finger, let's see, I go in, actually into as much as I can, the gap with my finger and the spackle. And then you can always sand that spackle smooth. It's not a big deal. Just pressing that in as much as I can. And then once it's painted, it will be a lot smoother. Yeah, it's going to work fine. Okay. So I'm going to do that all the way around him, and then I'll be back. Okay. Okay, I think you can see. Okay, you see where I've put the spackle? And now it's drying. The pink's almost gone. But see how it's filled in this gap? That would have been a gap right there. And once it's painted, you're not going to really be able to tell. So I'm just letting the spackle dry, and then I'll just take a paper towel, and that might be all that you'll need. You won't even need sandpaper because I smoothed it with my finger. And see where the gap was there? That's completely filled in. So yeah, this is very easy. Now, I'm probably not going to do an eye. I'm just going to paint it completely chocolate. I'm just going to do it all brown. And I can always do another one and paint the jacket if I want. Yeah, I didn't even need sandpaper for this. I was just able with a rough paper towel. So as soon as I get my paint together, we'll paint half of him. Okay guys, while we're waiting for this little guy to dry with the spackle, I've already sanded with the paper towel. That's flush. I'm going to do the carrots. So I made some rust. I used orange, brown, and red. And then let's get this color. Might have to cut that because I want to kind of shade it a little bit if I can. So one of them, I think I'll just, so I'm not wasting the paint. This one, the plaster kind of stuck to the mold. I took it out too soon is what happened. So some of it stayed, but I'm still going to use it. And like I said, I'm going to put a, probably a bamboo skewer to the back, and then I can stick it in either some flowers or put it in a basket. I just didn't want to buy any more this year because I bought enough for my Easter, because now my mind's going on to the 4th of July because I decorate for that. And then it is Christmas in July again. Jeez. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's one, and I'll get some green to do the top. Actually, you could even glue on some raffia green. That'd be cute. Actually, well, you know what? I do like that color. I might go the opposite and highlight with the lighter. I don't know yet. We'll see. I'll do 2 and 2. Thing is, if you have these molds, you know, start looking at the candy molds at the store, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, wherever, online. And, you know, if you like this kind of thing, start looking at those molds and think you can use plaster of Paris in any of those. You can start making different decor pieces. Basically, I'm just dry brushing this. There's hardly anything left on this with the paint, and so I'm just using, I like that. You know what? I really like this color. I'm going to do them all. I'm going to do all this color since I have the paint, and there's very little, so I won't be wasting it. Then I'll hit it with a couple light, maybe a little brown. Geez, I remember I used to paint so much. Different things, pieces of wood. If I put a little bit of water in this, it'll lighten it up and it'll give it a different shade. Thing is with this plaster of Paris, this is so it will drink up the paint, so it dries very, very fast. I mean, really fast. Just like the glue. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of water. Okay. Yeah, that, I knew it would change the color of that. It's kind of more muted. And then this plate I can just wash up and it's fine. Got these from the Dollar Tree. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and paint the back of these, and get the bamboo skewer glued onto these, and by that time we'll be ready to start with our bunny. Okay guys, I got done with the carrots, I think. When I paint, I like to mix colors, so I mixed, like I said, orange, red, brown, and then the greens were this green, which is pistachio mint, and what are you? What's your name? What is your name? Citrus green. So I glued skewers to the back, and what I could do, I don't know if I will this year, I might wait till next year, but if I do, I might get some green raffia and put like it's coming out from here and maybe some on the stem. So I made a couple of them shorter and a couple longer, and these will go into plants or flower arranging. So I did those, and that was from a candy mold. And then I painted the base of this with the two greens, the pistachio and the citrus, and the bottom. And I think with this one, I will embellish the egg. Not sure about the coat. Don't know that I'm going to do that. I may do all of this brown except for the egg. And then I'm going to... So that's how far I got with this. Got the base painted, and then I'll decide what else I want to paint a color before I do the burnt umber on him. And then this little one, I painted this, and I may leave that and just accentuate the 4-leaf clover and then the little flower over here, and I have to repaint this, like I said. And this is the spackle, that's no big deal. So what I'll do now is I will go ahead and paint this on camera with the burnt umber, the little one, because there's no deciding on that. I mean, there's no coat or anything. So let me get my paintbrush. This brown looks so good. It looks just like chocolate, and I'll show you a couple bunnies that I have bought. I'll show you a couple bunnies that I bought a couple years ago. And then with this one, I'll go ahead and show you where I put the spackle. Once you paint this, unless you knew what you were looking for, you really wouldn't see it at all. I am so excited about these, and again, I got this from the Pink Tree. I love her. And she's so good about, if I had a question, I mean, I'm not kidding, she would answer me almost immediately. Any question I had. Thank you, Dawn. And Tracy, Holiday Cookie Diva, are you loving this? I can just picture you in the house. Oh my gosh, I gotta go get some speck. I gotta get some pastel berries. I love how enthusiastic you get. And these chocolate bunnies, I mean, to buy them, I'm talking the fake, not the real. I'm gonna let this dry a little bit so I don't get brown. Actually, I'm gonna lay her down. So when that dries, I'll do the other side. And then when I'm done with this, I'm gonna show you the store-bought ones and the ones that I'm making. Okay, so what I've done so far is I've gotten the base and all of him. I decided to do all of him chocolate and not paint his coat. I want him to be like a chocolate bunny. So that's that one. And let me show you this one. Now he's all painted. Okay, I got done with the big bunny. And I'm going to show you again the mold, how big it is. Okay, this is 14 inches and 6 inches wide. It's a big bunny, big. So, got the mold out, washed them, gonna put them away. And then I took caulking because a glue gun, there is no way the glue would have stayed wet enough for me to be able to get it completely together, so I used the caulking. So now I am going to fill in a little bit more of the gaps that I'm seeing, and then once he's done curing, drying if you will, then I will come back and paint him and embellish him with hue. Again, here is my medium-sized. Hey everybody. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm cutting a napkin, real pretty one, and I'm going to do something different. I'm going to Mod Podge this napkin instead of painting this to make it look more Victorian. I think that'll be pretty. Okay, I'm going to keep cutting this, and when I'm done, I'll come back. Okay, what do you think so far? That is going to be so pretty. Very Victorian. Just like these bunnies. What's nice is this is white, so the white in the napkin kind of just disappears with it. So you're more seeing the flowers. Very cool. Okay, I'll be back when I'm all done with this. Okay, the egg is done. My lighting is awful. 2 of my bulbs burned out. Not sure what I'm going to do. Hopefully you can see this okay. I might take you to another area, but I wanted to show you that. And now I'm going to completely cover him with the satin acrylic sealer. And then I'm going to put a bow, and I'm not sure about down here yet. Then I'll be back. Okay, we have him completely painted with the satin finish. The napkin is completely Mod Podged. Grass is painted. I'm going to put a bow. This glued, but I'm not. I could just put it around him if I decide to. So I'm just going to leave him just the way he is. You will see him in the home tour where I'm going to put him. So that's this guy. I wanted to show you. He's all painted. Remember how I poured the mold with the plaster of Paris? And he is going to wear a ribbon that I got from Joann's. It's like a satin argyle, very pastel. I'm going to take it off. I just wanted to try it on him. But what we're going to do the same thing we did with the egg of the other bunny. And we're going to decoupage on. Instead of painting this, I'm going to decoupage this on it. Because I kind of wanted to follow the same feel as the other one. So what I'm going to do now that he's painted, I'm going to go ahead and put the satin finish all over him. And then that makes him look like the shiny chocolate. And then as soon as I start to, well, I'll probably do the majority of this because I showed you already how to do it with the other one. I'll come back just for a little bit of it, but then we'll embellish it together. Okay, what I did, I just went ahead and painted the satin finish, and I went ahead and Mod Podged on the napkin. So that's what that looks like. Again, I didn't paint it because I wanted to go with more of a Victorian feel. I'm going to add some candies to the basket, and I'm giving a sneak peek. We're going to be making these faux candies. How perfect for Easter or Mother's Day. Okay, so first thing, let's put on, and let's see which side we want to show more on the side. I think I'm going to do this side with the bow. So we're just going to tie this bow just like you would tie, just like you would tie any bow. This series has been so fun, guys. I've really enjoyed bringing this to you and all your sweet, beautiful comments. I appreciate them more than I think you realize. I love sharing anything I know, because I know there's many things through the years that I would love to have known, and I searched and searched. So if I can bring somebody a craft that they've been looking for, it's all worth it to me. Like I said before, I have crafted as long as I can remember. I want this bow to be bigger. I want to exaggerate everything, you know. So there's that. Okay, so now let's glue on our grass. I don't want to get that bow caught, so I'm going to move that over for a minute. That's the first thing we need to do, is just get this grass on there. Giving the illusion that it's open in here holding stuff. Right? If you've watched all of my Easter DIYs, leave me a comment and let me know which one you like the best, or which one you're going to try. I'd love to. I have had some comments where people have told me they're going to do things with the grandchildren, which I think is great. Or their kids. Okay, so this sucker is heavy too. So now I'm going to put on a couple of eggs. Next year, I think what I'll do is I'm going to do him real farmhouse, not traditional. Okay. Yeah, you're not going to want the paper on that. Or are you? I can't wait for you to see this one, how to make these faux candies. And you guys, they look like real chocolate. They look just like those decorative candies that you could get at See's. So pretty. And look at the white one. Giving you, like I said, a sneak peek. Yeah, this looks really Victorian. I really like it. And really, what, as you know, what constitutes it is just the embellishments. Like if you had this burlap and a burlap bow, and candies, it would look farmhouse. It's just how I'm choosing to embellish it. Now that my DIYs are done, because I wanted to get these done so I could show you where I'm putting the things that I've made, because a lot of people want to know what I do with them, where I put them. And I think I am going to be done. I feel like when, you know, you're in school and you're leaving for the summer and you say, oh, I'm going to miss everybody. But I'll be back with some more DIYs. That is it. I'm going to get a square one. I think the square's, it's bigger and it looks better. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. See, I just keep messing around until I see what I like. There. Now, there is candy and eggs galore on this sweet little Victorian bunny.
We bop and hippity hop, I'm as happy as I can be. Whoa, boom, boom, and hippity zoom. Love is sweet, love is grand, works one. We bop and hippity hop, I'll never be a millionaire.